Look what UPS dropped off at my door. Explore Scientific. This box contains a Galileoscope by Explore Scientific. We're going to take a look at it. This isn't a typical kit unboxing. These have been done before on YouTube, so I'm not real concerned about that. Have you ever wondered what's inside a telescope? We'll take a look at the internal components, the pieces of a Galileoscope kit, and see how they relate to one another and how it makes a telescope work. This video is not sponsored by Explore Scientific. It is something I made as a customer who happens to enjoy the use of this product. So let's get right into it. So here's the Galileoscope. I've got it sitting on the floor so that, if there's a spill, I don't drop anything. The Explore Scientific Galileoscope 2-inch 50mm refractor telescope kit. This is a kit. This is something that you put together, and that's the attraction of this. What's in a telescope? Well, if you assemble one of these Galileoscopes, you'll find out. Now, the Galileoscope, this modern version of it, if you will, has little to do with anything that Galileo had, except that it's a straight tube. Galileoscope didn't have any right angle finders on it. He looked in one end. He looked in the opposite end from where the light came in. The light came in and he looked at the back, just like this one's going to be. So this is an essential scope. Galileo's was far more basic than this one, because from my understanding with my research, he had basically a magnifying lens at the front. Different sizes, because he made a bunch of different ones. Some were 1-inch. Some were like this, 50mm, 2 inches. The back end, where he looked through, was one lens element, and from what I've gathered, it was a flat on one side, and the side that Galileo's eye was on was a concave. So it was, something that we don't use now. Long since. The state of the art has advanced way past this. This is going to be state of the art, but it's going to give you a feel for what's in a telescope. It's going to give you a feel for Galileo's experience with putting it together, even though there's a lot of technology in here that he didn't have. But if you have a scope and you bought one of these just to see what's inside a telescope, or if this is going to be your first scope, well, let's take a look at it and see what's in here. Let's open the box. All right, so what we're presented with, some paperwork. Thank you from Explore Scientific. Thank you for buying this kit. And of course, the warranty card, warranty information. Always handy to have that. Assembly instructions, getting started. So this is basically the pieces and parts in the kit, as you can see here. We're going to encounter some kind of supports. The body tubes, it comes in 2 halves. This 2 halves is going to be the draw tube. This is going to be the dew shield glare stop sunshades. You just want to stop the light from coming in crossways. You want to bring it in from the front. So at night when you use this, it's going to basically be a dew shield. But if you were like me and you have street lamps nearby your home, well, this will stop that extraneous light coming in from the street lamps. All the pieces for the eyepiece, assembling them, there's going to be your main front elements. It's going to be a 2-element crown and flint glass objective lens, so that's there. And of course there's going to be a sticker for solar warning. And so here we have the actual instruction book. Warnings: there's a choking hazard. Be careful if you got kids real young handling this. Be with them. 3 years old, there's small parts in here. Sun hazard: never look directly into the sun with a device, telescope. Don't point it at the sun, folks. Here's what there's going to be for assembling the pieces. We're going to be looking at these individual parts, assembling the tubes together. Here's the objective lens. It's 2-element. I know it's going to be cemented together. And then, of course, all the finishing stuff. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Take the cover off. And here we go. There's these supports. I guess this is for displaying your scope when it's put together. Here is the nut. This is going to enable you to be able to mount your telescope on a camera tripod. That's a 1/4 by 20 threaded nut. These O-rings are going to help hold the scope together, is my understanding. And of course, they want you to put this sticker on somewhere on this telescope when it's finished. Do not look at the sun. So let's look at the other pieces. This is the part I'm interested in at first. This is the focuser draw tube. Goes together in 2 halves. What I've been curious about is the finish of this draw tube. It's textured, and that's good. But if you notice, there's a shine in here, and that shine concerns me. Maybe, I'm going to take a look at it once it's all assembled, but I'm going to assemble it in a way that I could easily take it apart again. I might want to paint this with flat black paint. I don't want to scuff away this texturing because the texturing is important. But looking at that, I sure am a little nervous about that. I'd like to see this being black, but a flatter black than this. And this again, this blocks extraneous light from coming in. That's actually a nice dull black. I'm looking at that black texturing in here. This is actually coming out of the factory. This is a flat black, and that's what I want to see. I hope the scope is focusing good enough. It's focusing on the shine on the outside, but on the inside, this is actually a nice flat black. You can't see much. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's good. In this package are the lens elements. One large lens and 6 small lenses inside, and it refers you back to the instructions for this. So here it is. There's the objective lens. And this packaging back here contains some small lenses too. That's going to be for the eyepieces. But the main piece of glass here is going to be for the front. That's your 2-inch 50mm lens element. So this is pretty essential. When I put this together for myself, I'm going to be wearing some kind of gloves. I'm not going to want to finger it with my hands. I might be using some cotton gloves or something. I don't want to put fingerprints on this guy, so I'm not going to open it up here. I'm actually going to be very protective of this until the time comes to take it out and install it.